Hi everybody, Kristen McGuire from Nazareth College School of Music here again for a lesson today on drum pad warm-ups. So first of all, it's very important how high your drum pad is. If it's too low or too high, it's going to compromise your wrist angle and your arm motion. So I'm keeping it just a little bit below my waist. So when I bring my hands up, my sticks are in a V shape. My forearms are not quite parallel to the floor, just a little bit lower than parallel to the floor. Then I'm going to check to make sure I've got a nice 3-finger fulcrum, and then again I'm making that V shape. Okay, so I'm relaxed. I was always going to check in and kind of roll my shoulders first. Okay, so we're going to combine two things at once. We're going to do 8 on a hand, which means 8 in the right hand, 8 in the left hand, but we're going to combine that with dynamics so you can work on two things at once. I like to start at the fortissimo level, and then I'm going to go to forte, mezzo piano, and piano. All right, and then on the way up I'm going to do it double time or twice as fast. So here's the slow one. Notice I'm coming all the way up for fortissimo. Now forte, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. Now lower them a little bit more to mezzo forte. Now mezzo piano. And now to piano. And stop. Okay, so let's say I do that up or down and up. Now I'm just going to show you on the way up how you can do that twice as fast. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mezzo. Mezzo forte. All the same height. Forte. And double forte. All right? You can do that as many times as you want. After I've warmed up for maybe a minute, sometimes I shake my hands out and maybe again do a little bit of stretching, all right? Because you've gotten the blood moving in your fingers and your wrists and your arms. So once I've done those 8 on a hand, then I'm going to go to diddles. I'm going to use my basic rudiments as my warm-ups. So I'm going to start with the single paradiddle, and then I like to do it 2 times slow, 4 times double time to work on my speed and short bursts. So here's the single paradiddle. Notice that I'm not just dropping my stick for the diddles, that the diddles are actually played with the wrists. So make sure they're nice and clean and they're not just drop strokes. Okay, then I'm going to go on to the flam warm-up. So if you take your flams like this, right, and if you took one hand out, you'd find out that they're made up of downstrokes and upstrokes. So I found that if I practice my up and down strokes in each hand, like that, it makes my flams better. So I'm going to practice this, try to stay relaxed, try to control that stick height, don't get a buzz. Okay, I'm going to do it with my other hand. I'll slow it down a little bit. This is tricky because it involves very controlled wrist movements, and then eventually you can speed them up. And then you'll find out if you do that even just for a couple minutes, when you go to practice your flams, your stick height is more controlled. Okay, and then you can speed that up a little bit. Once it's nice and clean, then I would speed up my flams. And let gravity do the work for you. Don't push on your flams. The next thing I would do is work on my roll, and I'm going to just play for you the complete long roll. You may not be able to do all of this yet, but there are 3 basic parts. There's the double wrist, then the double bounce, and then the buzz part, and then you go back from the buzz or closed to the double bounce to the double wrist. The idea eventually is to make it seamless so you can't really hear those transitions. So I'm going to play the whole thing for you, and then I'll give you some warm-ups with each individual part. Okay? So these starts with the double wrist. The motion comes from tapping with the wrist. Try to make it seamless into the double bounce, which is from the elbow. If you speed that up, it's a fast open roll, then go to your buzz roll. All right, listen for evenness. You could decrescendo, maybe work on a little bit of a control of dynamics. Then crescendo again. Now we're going to back out of it and take your time so you're really learning how to control it. So that's the full long roll. Now some of you may just want to work on a part of that. So I would suggest you start with the buzz and you take your 3 fingers, relaxed fulcrum and wrist, and just drop the stick on the pad and work on individual buzzes like that, and then take the other hand and work on your buzzes, and then eventually you're going to alternate your buzzes, and then you can gradually speed them up. Make sure they're downstrokes, try to let them overlap, and then go into a buzz roll. So that's what I would suggest for your warm-up every day. It not only warms up your hands, but it works on the basic components that you're going to need as a drummer, the basic rudiments. Thanks for your attention and see you again.